Hello, Rob.
Robert Nickel. Ladies and gentlemen, Stellar sysadmin.
Hey, you know what? What's my toy to your camera?
I don't see any. Oh. Yeah. I saw that.
Make sure it works.
Don't answer that.
Huh?
Don't answer that.
You guys seen those IR blasters? Who blinds the camera?
Oh, the infrared, yeah.
Oh, have you seen the Inside Man?
That was cool, wasn't it?
I'm surprised also those cameras don't have IR.
They have a generator which they can fire on.
How can you tell when it's recording?
It is.
Okay, can you turn it off for a second? Usually like still feed or something else goes. 3 is where my email client, group-wise, goes. 4 is where graphics applications go if I need to use them. Or Adobe, it gets its own window because it's a pig. 5 is web browser window. 6 is VMware. 7 is usually something related to this shell. So if I like have a man page or something that I really need to read, I'll open it on 7. 10 is for graphics programs. 12 is if I open up an audio player. That's the dump it there desktop. You know, I don't want to see it. It just runs. Chances are it's going to get put to sleep, but it can stay over there. So yes, I use most all of them because I hate tabbing between windows. You know, I want to go, yes, Control F3, that's what's there. Or when I'm running E, Alt F3, that's what's there. It just is. So that's my particular neurosis. Today we will be using 1 because that's the shell. And we'll be using 4 because that's the, well, presentation portion. And I'm sorry, the slides suck, but it is. Hopefully the whole presentation doesn't. The slides are very coarse outline of what we're going to go over.
You're more vocal anyway. You're more vocal anyway.
I love that. Create. No, I don't want you to create. I want you to open. Open. Okay. Aha. Can everybody see that? Okay. All right. Just checking. Okay. Let's see. We'll come over here, and we'll go. We'll go. Oh, no, I'll make this larger. Don't worry.
I mean the line. Eliminations. The looms.
RT demo. Come on, baby. You can do it. Oh. Okay. Yes. Oops. Every day, and it's very capable. I was talking to my wife whilst making this up and talking about, you know, one of the good things about RT is that it's kind of, you know, generic because it's called request tracker. So that's the first thing that came to my mind when I started doing this is, okay, so, you know, what's in a name, okay? Request tracker, is it only an IT tool? Well, yes and no. Yes, in that it's non-trivial to set up. If you're going to set up RT, I'm not going to say that it's beyond anybody in this room, but if you're going to give RT to somebody who's never heard of what Perl is, doesn't understand, you know, what a web server is, okay, they're going to have a little bit more difficulty setting this up because RT has several major dependencies on stuff in Perl. It's easy to get them because it actually has an install script that says, yes, I will go and I will do this stuff for you. I'll go get all the modules I need and I'll install them for you if you want. All you have to do is run the master script. The problem being is that if you don't have somebody that can install it for you, and you're not running an operating system that will do it for you essentially, like the only thing you have to do in the FreeBSD port to make it work is set up the Apache config. That's it. It's really, really easy. And after that, it's just managing the database stuff, as far as like, you know, creating a ticket, creating users, stuff like that. But I like the fact that it's called Request Tracker because there's a lot of things that I thought about that we could use this for besides just help desk. That's our primary use at work. We use it for help desk. We use it for the surface water plant. I work for water, if you don't know. The surface water plant that we operate, the operator's manager can add in tickets to a specific queue that's not computer related. It's all stuff that, this is broken at the plant, come fix it. And they put it in there, so then they can track it and people can edit it in there and say, look, I did this, I did that, so-and-so needs to do this, so-and-so needs to do that. We can track warranty information, all kinds of stuff, because it's just a free input system. We also have a small tool shop at the water yard that, we have a small tool shop at the water yard that the guy who does all of our small tool shop repairs, he takes and he puts in, anytime he gets a piece of equipment in, you know, a lawnmower, he puts in, I got a lawnmower from so-and-so, puts in the serial number and the ID off of the lawnmower, and everything that he needs to know about that, plus what he needs to do to fix it. Then he casts it out of his mind until he can get around to it. And they're just in order until they get through with them. We have several things that are like that. We have the small tool shop that does that. Our electricians do that for, you know, site maintenance. Our instrumentation guys do that. We have a large site with several people, you know, interacting with these different things. So an electrician will finish up at a site and then give the ticket to an instrument tech and says, here, now you need to do it. And he assigns it to that guy. And we'll see in a minute when I get over to the interface, it shows you, hey, these are the tickets, the top 10 priority tickets that are assigned to me. Okay. And then best practical, the reason they're on here is this is the hosting or the company that is the major supporter of Request Tracker. They actually sell support for RT. If you want to buy support for RT or get an install done and customized to just the way you like it, those are the folks that can do it for you if you don't, you know, find your local sysadmin. But the thing I like about their name is that, you know, best practical doesn't say that it'll fit every need. Okay, they're not saying that this is the only solution to ticket tracking. You can spend a lot of money on it. You can get Windows only applications. But anytime you do anything like this, I can guarantee you, you will not find something that fits every niche. You have to find out your needs before you go and buy something, or your needs before you go try something. That's one of the biggest things that I do as an IT guy is, you know, curtailing my clients' needs. They come to me, they say, oh man, I've got to have Outlook on the desktop, and I'm like, oh, okay, what really do you want? You know, let's not talk product. What do you want? You know, you want a calendar, you want an email, you want, you know, what? You want document sharing, stuff like that. And then best practical also assumes that there should be a good investment return. Okay, where you can get it, we talked about this. What's not on here is that you can also get RPM installs of RT. Problem with RPM is the same problem that RPM has always had and will always have, is that you get the dependency nightmare, and you may not be able to find the right version of the right RPM for the right thing. And if you're doing this in a production environment and you do it, because you may have to get like some RPM that John Schmuck put together, you may end up voiding your warranty on your support contracts for other software. If you're doing this in an IT department and you have a big enough IT department to do anything, find an old junker box. RT will run on an x86. It'll run on anything Linux will run on, and it'll run just fine. And install it on that all by itself. You know, don't install this on a production system if that production system is going to be, you know, in any way affected by the installation of RT adversely, because it's just not worth it. Oh, and sorry, the document. Whoops. The documentation that's a decent site. If you find something out on here that's wrong, please edit it and fix it. Because there's some good information here, but most of this takes the form of a pointer. It's not, you know, do this, then that, then the other. There's very little of that. Even like the install, the freebie, the install doc for installing on FreeBSD is like 50 lines. Okay, there's a lot in between there that it assumes that you know.
What's the Gen 2 emerge you got for?
There, you just do emerge RT, and I have no idea how it works as far as, you know, quality or not. I know it's marked till the x86, so it's not, you know, you'll have to add it into your Etsy portage package like keywords to get it to accept that.
Gen 2 is a Linux distribution.
Yeah, okay. So the emerge is an install package, installer?
Yeah, Gen 2 installs from source,
Yeah.
and you tell it to emerge, and then you give it the package name. Like if you want to have KDE as your desktop environment, you say emerge KDE, and it'll suck down all the KDE stuff, and you can tell it to choose, you know, precompiled binaries or to build it from source. It's up to you on that. Let's see. Okay. Now everybody in here who has run a web server that I know is going to tell me Apache 1.3, but that's so old school. Okay, 1.3, the one thing that I am very certain of, okay, is that if you run Apache 2 with RT, you will have a butt pain. Okay, I run Apache 2 and RT at work. It is a pain in the butt. I have to restart my Apache daemon every night. I have a cron job that does that because I got tired of doing it when it came up with the error. It's because mod Perl sucks for Apache 2.0. There's different ways that they approach things in Apache 2.0. Apache 2.0 is a complete rewrite from the ground up. Okay, so there's a lot of errors still in Apache 2, and its integration with the mod Perl hook, and mod Perl 2 especially, is a pain in the butt. If you want to run RT, run it with Apache 1.3, save yourself the grief. Okay, I spent hours getting it to run right. Okay, the security, this is one thing that Apache 2 is still a new guy. If you don't know for sure that you need it, don't run it. I mean, it's just basically, unless there's a feature you're looking for, just don't run it. 1.3 has been around the block a lot, and it's, you know, it's very well known as far as what its problems are. I use a virtual host for RT, so like at work you go to rt.rdomain, and that gives you the RT ticketing system. This just keeps it cleaner than telling somebody, okay, you go to, you know, our page / you know, utilities / ticketing system / RT / you know, instead of giving that whole long thing out, you just go to RT. You'll need an MTA, which is a mail transport agent, send mail, queue mail, postfix, pick your favorite. The demo in here is Qmail because I use Qmail. I like Qmail. If you don't, okay. We can argue about that at some other point. That's fine with me. I won't go out on a limb and say that postfix sucks like some other people, but and MySQL, don't run 5. It's not bad. It's just very, very new. Why borrow trouble? Yes. Okay. And that's also the list of what we're running here today. Okay, when you create for the email gateway, one of the things that you can do for RT, and you can do this for every single queue that you create in RT, okay? And one of the things that we'll talk about in just a second is what a queue is. Queue is just a collection of tickets. So every queue that you create, and the examples I'm using here for our help desk. We tell our people, they call us up on the phone and they can't get me. Okay, there's 3 of us in our section that can respond to my computer is broken calls. So Sally's sitting at her desk and she wants to know how to, you know, close the window for, you know, our proprietary telnet program. Woo! I didn't write it, I didn't buy it. Okay. citywide AS400 app over Telnet, and they're worried about passwords. Yeehaw. So she's wanting to know, how do I exit out of this application? Now, along the top of the screen, it says, you know, F9 to do this, F7 to do that, F8 to do that. And she's very familiar with the ones that toss across the top of the screen. Well, across the bottom of the screen, it says F1 for help, F2 to exit, F3 to, you know, blah, blah. And so Sally will call the help desk, and she'll try and call me, because she needs to exit so she can go on her break. So she'll call my desk. I'm not there. I'm doing something else. Somebody else has called me. I'm out, you know, being fabulous with fabulous people, whatever. Okay? So she calls my desk, doesn't get anybody. She calls my cohort's desk, doesn't get anybody, because he's helping somebody. And she calls, you know, last resort, the lady that we work with, not last resort because she's not good. She's very competent. She's almost got a PhD in computer science, but that's, you know, not here or there. Calls her, and she's not there. We're all somewhere out and about doing other stuff, because there's times that I actually have to get up off my butt at my job and go do stuff. So now she's frustrated. Now she starts the call circle again. This time, however, instead of hanging up when my, you know, hi, this is Robert, I'm away from my desk, you're unavailable, or screening your call because you suck, please leave a message. She leaves a message, and chews my voicemail out for like 90 seconds until it goes, okay, that's enough. Right? So I go and I have a message. And it's like, you know, an hour later. Okay? I have a message. And it starts out, you suck. She'll call back. Which of course she does. She's still waiting for me to go on her break. So she's making, you know, like the 40th time, she's making the call back around again to tell me that I suck and that, you know, there's a problem. Well, what we do with RT is we say, look, don't send a voicemail. Don't call anybody. Okay? Nobody wants to talk to you. Okay? Send an email. Unless you can't send an email, send an email to help@water.fresno.gov. You guys can try it. It's fun. Your mail will drop promptly on the floor. We use ProcMail to filter that, so it'll just go, oh, hey, look, a nice mail. We got spam to this once. That's all it took. And it was a spam by one of our people from their home. You know, they sent us an email. Oh yeah, my home mail system sucks and I've got a virus. Please fix it for me. I replied, no, you suck. Never send me another mail to this. It's not work related. And then I put in the ProcMail filter. So you send an email to help@water.fresno.gov. Now, when RT gets it, RT pulls it in and it says, oh, it's a new ticket. And because it's going to this email address, I know that it goes to this specific queue. And then the rules in the queue apply, and whatever the queue says applies. So what the queue does is it says, oh, this is a new ticket. I'm going to add a ticket to this help queue, which is called help desk. And it inserts the ticket with the subject of the subject and the body of the body if they do anything. My favorite help desk ticket is help. Because then I promptly reply. This is a fun game to play with my user. I reply, what seems to be the problem? And it's cast off. I'm done. Customer support 101. I'm talking. We're communicating. I don't know what the problem is. I'm trying to find out. So when that is created, one of the things in there that happens is we have what's called a script, not a script. A script, S-C-R-I-P. I have no idea if there was, you know, like some sort of legal thing or whatever, but he came up with scripts. And that script says, now, as soon as it comes in, mail all the watchers, the people who are watching this queue, a copy of this ticket. And it has an address that the address is our group. Me, the guy, and the girl, our pager addresses. So it goes, zzz, and we go, whoa, somebody has a problem. You know, find the nearest phone booth, change clothes, run over to their desk. Okay. Works great. If I'm already helping somebody and, you know, this is person 2 cubes over, they don't know I'm there. Well, okay. 10 cubes over wearing headphones, all right? They don't know I'm there. Well, hey, they send it to the help desk. And this serves a couple of purposes. One, my boss can look at the help desk and go, wow, we really have a lot of problems. Okay, what aren't we fixing? And two, it helps in that that person gets better service immediately, regardless of where I'm at. Because city provides the phone. Hey, you know, use it for what it's intended for. Send an email out through the SMS gateway. Boom, done. Okay, now, see this big optional? Okay, running an MTA is a complicated thing. Doing it right is a complicated thing. You may end up being a spam sewer for doing this. Okay, it is optional. It is cool and it's great, and you can do a lot of things just by replying to the message. Like it comes to my phone, I can reply to that message, and it will send to help comment, and the comment will get added onto that ticket from the subject, and then it'll also send the reply back to the user. The nice thing about that is that I can say, oh, well, you know, this is the problem I had, and I never have to do anything beyond a smart device. Not even a very smart device. I mean, I have a little crappy phone. I don't know if you've seen a little LG. Okay, little text, you know, 5,000 punches to a 10-line message, right? Because I make mistakes. Clear. So, you know, you can do that kind of stuff really well. If you have a nice phone like Drew has, then, you know, it's a lot easier. What?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, the keys are kind of tiny, so, you know, little fingers like mine. Okay. Here's what I would use to filter inbound. If you don't know Procmail now, and you're doing Unix, and you want to do a really nice thing to your email, take your email in and filter it through Procmail, because it will immediately give you the benefit of, you can sort all your mail by who it comes from and where it comes from. You can block out addresses if you want. You can say, look, I don't care anymore, I don't want to talk to anybody but Steve-O. All mail not from Steve-O goes into the not the Steve-O folder. Steve-O's mail gets paged to me twice, and then if I don't reply to it again every, you know, half hour thereafter. Okay, so that I get it, because it's important that I talk to Steve-O. So, boom, right there. You can define all of that in Procmail. Okay, you can shell out to call external programs. You can filter on what the content of the mail is. So, like an example, if my dad sends me an email, it has 911 in the subject. It sends me just the body of the message. It strips off any attachments, and sends me just the body of the message. You know, there's a problem. To my pager or to my phone. Okay, I had turned it off for a while until I explained to my dad what a real emergency was, but it works. It works very well. Okay, and Procmail just rocks, and Procmail's been around forever. It's had its share of problems, but still, if someone victimizes you, they victimize you as you, not as root, because Procmail is local only. It's run as you, as your mail comes in.
That's what my question was. How does that works with any MTA as long as it gets delivered to like a mailbox folder?
Mail delivery agent. You can use this. You can set it up badly. You can set send mail up to use Procmail by default. But the easiest way to do it, quite honestly, regardless of the MTA, if you don't want to run your own MTA, everybody familiar with what .forward is? Okay. If you're not, you put .forward in your home directory on your box. Now this is like way back. Someone accused me of old schooling it with INetD the other day. Okay, this even goes farther back than that. Okay, .forward. Somebody said, hey, you know, it'd be great if I got an email. I don't want to deal with it on this account because I've got like 92 shell accounts everywhere. I'm going to put a .forward in there and it'll tell it what to do. Forward it to this address, to that address. You know, what else would be really handy is if it, you know, didn't just forward it, it ran it through this shell script. So they added that functionality in. You have to look at how your MTA actually handles things, but you can use .forward and you use .forward to pipe it through Procmail. And then it just boop, 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 and then it runs as you. You don't have to worry about the MTA or anything like that. You just, and if you don't know what MTA your host is running, ask them. Hey, what are you running? If I want to use Procmail on your server, What do I have to do? And they'll throw you back a line that's like, 5 characters long, or 5 words long, and they'll say, okay, you put this little character, and then you put this, and then you do this other thing, and then whatever you want to do, you put after this point, and you're done. And it'll call ProcMail, and ProcMail will run what they call recipes, which is written in, like pseudo RPN. It's just really, really bad. But there's a lot of ProcMail recipes that you can just bar off the net, and all you gotta do is change the name. So it'll put it where you want it, do whatever you want. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, the web interface. Let's start this off with my disclaimer. Webmail? Okay. I hate web interfaces. The only web interface that I've seen that I've been excited about in years is the Zimbra. Is the Zimbra Ajax interface. If you haven't seen it, and we're done early, I'll show you because it's cool. And it's free. You can pay for it. Now, the pluses about RT's web interface, things that it does that I like, okay? No JavaScript. It's all HTML4. That's it. That means it will work on anything. I can browse it with my phone. And my phone sucks. Everybody remember that? We can play the tape back for you. My phone sucks. Okay? And it is just a very compliant way to code. It looks good in Linux, or W3M. If you don't know what these are, great. It looks great in Perl if you're trying to just do if you want to use what do they call it? HTML automate? No, what is it? There's a module in Perl where you can automate forms. And I've used it, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, there's no cutesy crap. The interface is just very basic. Here you go. So what the plus is for this is even if you have Verizon, whose service sucks for data, okay? Their service is horrible for data, it's slow. Okay, look, I'm gonna bring up Google, which has a very minimal interface. Set the phone down, walk away, go make coffee, drink the pot, go take a leak, because, caffeine. Come back, bring it up, type in your search. It's bad. Now, EVDO, if you go to Vegas, is rocking. It's faster than my cable modem connection. It's great. When will we get EVDO in Fresno? Never. I'm thinking never.
We're going to skip over that technology.
Actually, I think they said that they're coming out with it pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what they said in San Francisco, and it just came out 6 months ago.
Oh, well.
And they said that for, what, 4 years?
Well, hopefully they don't do the same thing they did with the Edge. Oh my God, Edge is so fast. Well, we're just going to slap an Edge backend on our currently slow network.
Oh, jeez. And then the web interface, you can do whatever you want with it. It's all template driven. If you choose to dig into it, I will advise you that it is high-end Perl that these guys write, and it's not easy to parse through, but learning it is not that difficult. If you know a little bit of Perl and you have a little bit of patience and you want to dig through it, you can dig through it and change it however you want. It's just that easy. Now, let's see here. Oh, I couldn't get to my favorite site. Oh. Yay! It responded. Okay, let's see if secure shows up. Connection code. It's VMware. It wakes up slow, man. It's cranky in the morning. That's my free V-Box. Remember, it's in the VMware session?
Thought you didn't like to use keys.
Over here. Huh?
Thought you didn't like to use keys.
I love to use keys. I don't like unencrypted keys, but when it's my VM box and all I got to do is go suspend, bye-bye. I don't care. It's a demo. Everybody want to know what the root password is? It's blank. Root logins are disabled. Go ahead, hack it. Go ahead, tear me up. You don't believe me? Here, watch. I'll show you. Non-believing nits you. Okay, let's see. Wait to get the mousey. Oh, look, running GPM because it's all console here. No need for X. Trying to build X in VMware. That would be here till next year. Oops.
First you need to get that ad hoc working.
Okay. Root. Password. Look. Go ahead. Go for it. Come on. Okay. I'm a security nut. That's why they're giving me crap about this. We're wondering. Okay. Let's see. Give me my mouse back. And we'll keep you on every screen, and we'll put you away in a second here.
What window manager are you using?
KDE. Can't you smell the bloat?
Well, I just looking at the symbols for the minimize and maximize and all that other stuff.
Oh, he's just got a Windows theme, a Windows Manager theme.
Thought maybe it was like Klingon or something.
Klingon. No. Okay, so now. Waiting. Sorry, it's a little pokey. It's VM. Yeah. Okay, so this is the web interface. This looks, I kid you not, this looks great. I have an AudioVox Wince phone at the office just for data. That's how I know that Verizon's data service sucks so bad. And we've used it all over the place. The saving grace for that thing is that it's got an SD card that you can put a wireless in and do 802.11, and we have 802.11 at work, so I associated it, and I carried it around with me at work, get some use out of it. And this looks exactly the same. And if you shrink up your browser a little bit, it still looks good. Hate grabbing the edge of this. The only thing I don't like about my new mouse, it's a little twitchy. Oh. There, why grab the corner when you grab the whole window? Everybody knows how to do that, right? Alt, right click, resize the window. They stole that from E, but it's great. So here's all the cues I was telling you about. Like I said, this is a direct data copy of my RT install at work. So we have, I was telling you, there's the electrical queue, general, which just installs with RT by default. You'll notice there's nothing in there. There's never been anything in there. It just sits there. There's no way to access it except by me or someone else who's an admin. Okay. Then you have help desk, which is where the mail gateway goes, and then you have all these other ones: instrumentation, blah 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 blah. Projects is an interesting one. There are many things that languish in there for long times. I think the oldest ticket in there is as old as my RT install, as a matter of fact. That is an ongoing project that I keep ignoring. Okay, because there's other things. If you do sysadmin, you have to get over the frustration level. So that's where I stick the stuff that I would get frustrated about if I had to look at it every day. Okay, but if you wanted to look at, everything here is clickable, by the way. You can sort by, well, not the columns, but when you go into like a queue, you can sort by like different columns, so you can sort by priority or ticket number or whatever. You also have, this is an aborted attempt at getting actually some sanity to how I add user accounts, and management really didn't buy into that, and they're like, but I want to call you, and I'm like, I don't want you to call me. Go away, you bother me. This is the surface water treatment plant that I was telling you about, and they have stuff in there that they gripe about. You'll notice that there are 6 tickets in there that I am ignoring greatly, that are brand new, never been touched. And I get a page for those too, and I still ignore them, which drives my plant operators nuts. But I figure if the plant's smoking and on fire and people are dying, they'll call me. So in all of these 10 highest priority tickets that I own, okay, and the 10 newest unowned tickets, this is kind of great if you're the guy who is what I refer to as the shield. You guys know what a shield is? Tom talked about it, and my shield at work is unwilling.
Lackey.
No, not lackey, but he's just unwilling. He really doesn't want to play the game, and so I have to stick my boot in him regularly to get him to do this. But you'll notice over here it says take. You can just, okay, I want to take this ticket. I just click on it, and that's mine. Takes me to that ticket, and now it's taken by me. Now I'm the owner. If you look over here.
Is there a give back function?
You can click on the people and you can go, okay, it belongs to my lackey. And RT dutifully will track every last transaction you make with it. Given to lackey. Okay. Click home. And you'll notice no frames. Anybody else think frames are evil? Yeah. Okay, good. I love you all. I program with frames too, and I still think they're evil.
At least twice a week I get a call from somebody about printing their screen because of frames.
Yeah, my favorite is at work, our help desk, or our support page for work is frames, and it's using an iframe. And we use the iframe as a target, and you know, it's just, if you do web programming, it's something that you end up doing just because it's convenient. You know, you click on the thing on the left doesn't move, and the frame on the right gets populated with the new page. You say, load this page over there, okay? Which is great, because then if you have somebody who's hyper, okay, which I know we have all bumped into this person, they double click on everything. Everything. Whether it's HTML or not. They're like, click. And I mean, clicking fast. And they're the kind of person that will get pissed off because they've had too much caffeine, they're a little jittery. They're usually like, you know, not the top manager in your organization, they're like one guy down, or even worse, his staff assistant. Look, man, I gotta schedule an appointment for this guy right now. I keep clicking on group wise and it won't open. Well, how'd you click on it? I went, click, and it won't open. I'm like, well, click a little bit faster. Okay, click, still doesn't work. Click. And they, you know, they're like beating it up. Well, you go in and you watch them, and they're shaking so much that it's, you know, if you were to zoom in on the icon and say this is the icon, they're going click. Okay, Windows doesn't like that. Windows expects click within like 4 pixels of one another. Okay, it's settable, but it's a crazy setting, and you got to dig way in the registry for it. But if you go click, it thinks that, well, you just forgot to hold it down and you wanted to move it 9 pixels. So she's sitting there going click. I'm like, hold still. You know, or just click on it once, hit the enter key. I have half a dozen users at work that's how they get into everything. They go click, enter. Because they had to put up with me doing the hold still bit. Okay, so no, your computer's not broken. You're just stupid. Really? Okay. It's I love my job sometimes. They don't let me have a bat, but I have a crossbow at work.
Much safer.
Cabling. Oh gosh, I wouldn't want to be hit by the dart. It just hurt. It wouldn't go in. It just hurt. It's one of those aluminum light, you know, practice darts, and I think it would just hurt like, you know, like sin if it hit you. But it wouldn't even leave much of a bruise, I don't think. But it wouldn't break the skin. I mean, unless you were, you know,
Is that
had
the
some
same
problem.
cabling through plenum?
Huh?
Do you use the same cabling through plenum?
No.
Oh.
We shoot. We have a drop ceiling similar to this. So you take the ladder, you go up to, you know, point A, and you look, and we have suspended lights. And if you've ever seen the way that they suspend lights that they then mount flush in this crap, it's really interesting because you have the power coming down into the center of it with the, you know, Ethernet disruptor. Also, everybody knows what that is. Also known as the ballast. And then you have, you know, the light, and the fixtures themselves are like a foot tall. And then you have the ceiling that's like another foot above that. So you get up there and you're like, yeah, I can either like pop every one of these tiles and go up and down the ladder 92 times to make a 30-foot run. Or I can go up to the first one and go, bang! And go, whoops, I was standing on the cord. Guess I have to shoot it again. You know?
It's quite fun.
It's actually, it's a great way to run cable. You can actually buy them with the reel on the side. with, string on it with a little.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. You can buy them. And
We have one.
there's a lot of places, professional cabling joints that do it. We just take a bunch of yellow string and like pile it on the, you stick it right up inside. And you go, and you hope the ball doesn't take off. You got more string on the ground, but if the ball takes off, it goes like 10 feet and then it goes.
That was, one side note was funny, when we were building the Modesto campus, one of the guys said, well, I don't have one of those fancy darts, so he took a screwdriver and lined it up there. He threw it across, and it went through the ceiling tile on the other side. It was like, that wasn't really.
Yeah, guys, these things look really strong, but they aren't. These things are held together by, well, mostly wishful thinking. If you ever go to like a junior high and you look up, man, there's great big holes in them because kids thought, ooh, I'll throw my pencil up there. They go, and the pencil goes right on through. Yeah. Okay, and those are the good things about RT's web interface. Okay, RT configuration. Okay, we're going to talk about the user configs here real quick. Okay, so here's the configuration link. Imagine that, as I click it 9 times. Click, 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 click. Okay, and then users. Now, if you set up a mail gateway where a user can send an email and it'll automatically add the ticket, it will automatically add a user account for that person as well, with their email address as their username. So if we come down here and we say include disabled users in search, you'll notice that, oops, come on.
Hold still.
Yeah, I know, man. It should give me a list of, interesting. Well, there are let's see, let's try this. There we go. These are probably a pretty decent list of the users that might work. Okay, none of these hardly have an account. Oh, there's my spam sender. And what it does is it just picks off the from and says, oh, you're a new user, and adds them. Now it adds them where they can't log in. So if you were to try and log in, you'd have to come in and tell it, yeah, let them log in, and then it would be, then it would be, you did it to yourself. But generally speaking, you add, user IDs like this. So, like this is a guy from City Hall that checks up on some of our stuff. But say we were gonna edit Dick's account. Yeah, and that's his name. I made a code error. I did a code error. I have a web interface to get some information about the water system, and you have to log in. And when you log in, it says hi, and on the left it has your name at the top, and then the list of the categories of information that you can get. And it uses frames. It's evil. Yes, and it pops it over here. Well, I made a mistake, and when I added his account to the web interface, I put his first name in as his last name, and his last name in his first name. Oh. So it came up, and it said, short Nick. And he came to me, and he's all red in the face. I don't think that's very funny. And I'm like, what don't you think is funny? So he marches me over to his desk, and he goes, back. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry, that's a mistake. It's an honest mistake. I didn't mean to make a comment about how long it takes you to actually take a leak, But yeah, so yes. He's an interesting guy. He's an old school pump guy. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. Right here, let this user access RT and let this user be granted rights. Okay, if you uncheck both of those, you can't do anything as that user, period. Just might as well not even have an account. Okay, if you check, let this user be granted rights, and you leave unchecked, let this user access RT, this is an interesting situation. Granted rights means that you can say, yes, let them interact through the mail gateway with RT, or through the command line interface by RT. But they can't do like the web interface and actually come in and change configuration settings and stuff like that. Okay. Now, when you add a user, okay, let's go to global here. You come over here and you go to user rights. One of the things about user rights, you'll notice that we have a root account. It doesn't actually work. But this is what's installed by RT. You'll notice he's the first one. And they're in order. The MySQL select just does a select, so it's the order that they're added in. Root was added first, then I was added, because my system. And then this is the lady I work with, and then that's my boss. And then you get down a little bit farther and you go through the 3 guys that we fired to get to the current lackey. So all the users are in here. Now you can say no value, okay? On the left here is the value of the rights that they have. So you have super user rights, okay? Which means you can do anything and everything. There is a very interesting user right called CQ, SEEQUE, that says you can actually see a particular queue. It shouldn't be in this list of items here, if I remember, because it's queue specific. Oh, no, there it is. CQ and C group. Okay, what that says is if you have that right globally, you're going to see every queue in the system. This is not necessarily a good thing. The guy who does our tools, our small tool repair stuff, is not a very big computer user. He's very anti-technology. I mean, he's like 400 years old. He's a nice guy, but he's not into computers at all. You know, he barely wants to use it to, you know, do stuff at home that his wife makes him do because she's a teacher. So at work, we're telling him, look, you need to track all this stuff. You need to type this in because we know you can type, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, okay, but you gotta make it as easy as possible. When he logs in and he gets his home screen, over here, it says small tools, and that's it. On the right hand side. And it says you got this many new and this many open. And then on the left, he owns, you know, the oldest 10 tickets show up because the priorities will auto increment in RT. It's an interesting feature if you want to set it up. And then this, he doesn't see anything at all because there are no unknown tickets because he creates them all in the small tool queue. So he owns them all. This is just blank, so he gets this and one over here. It's very simple if you want to take the steps to, you know, dumb it down, and it's not hard to dumb it down.
What does this configuration look like then?
This is a super user
No, I
config.
said, you said what does this configuration look like?
Oh,
From a super user standpoint.
okay. If you go into configuration and then you go into global configs for user rights, and you go down to where is it? There he is. No rights granted. Okay, most of these people have no rights granted on the global scale because there's no reason that they need to have a right to everything. Now, you'll notice that this guy up here has a modified self. Okay, and that's just me being magnanimous to him because he's a pain in the butt sometimes. This is my I really like him a lot, but sometimes he can be he can be like having a nagging stepwife. You know, he can be really, really painful if he doesn't get his way right now. And one of the things that he asks about is, well, I want to change my password every 90 days. I'm like, well, I'm not going to change your password. You can get one shot at it and make it good. You know? So no, he wants to change it every 90 days. So I gave him modify self, which he can go in and change his own rights or change his own password and credentials and his username and the email address and like that. So anyway, for Ken or for KT, right here, he has no rights granted. But if we go and we look under queues, okay, and then under queues you can select the queue, and we're going to select small tools, and then we come over here and we look at user rights, okay. things that I bring up in the slide over here. You want to give the rights with your manageability in mind. So if you know that you're going to have more than one person doing something potentially, you want to set up a group to do that and give rights to the group so that when you add someone, it's easy to just add them into the group. You don't have to worry about, you know, what rights did I have to give to that guy to make it work, you know, this way for him. So you just assign the rights to the groups. You figure that out once and you're done. So we go over here to group rights, and we come over here to user-defined groups that we have, and there it is, small tool trackers. Okay, these are the people who have access to small tools. They can say, I want to watch a ticket, I want to take ownership of a ticket, I want to look at the contents of a ticket and an overview of a ticket. I can actually see the queue. This is the important part. If you can't see the queue, you can't see anything. You can't even see that there are tickets in there. As far as you're concerned, it doesn't exist. Okay? You can reply to it, you can run a ticket, blah, blah, blah. The granularity for the permission system is pretty tight. They've done a really good job at not going way overboard, but giving you like, okay, you know, why would we want to have a differentiation between, you know, show a ticket and show ticket comments? Well, you may be the person who requested the ticket, but say that, you know, I have a bunch of guys that work in the field that none of them can say a complete sentence without a 4-letter metaphor in it. So, you know, they type the same way. So, yeah, I went out to the effing user's desk, and that effing user said this effing thing, and this effing thing, and that effing, you know, and they put that in their ticket, and you don't want that user to see what they're commenting on about it. So you let them see the ticket, but not what people are saying about it. And so there's been a lot of thought that's gone into this. And if you look back at the old like from the RT1 days, when RT only had a command line interface, you can see there's a lot of discussion on the permission system between RT1 and RT2. I don't remember if a lot changed between 2 and 3 with the permission system. I know the way that it's handled changed a little bit, but I don't know that the actual content of what it did or not. But again, this is basic. You know, if you've ever admined anything in your life, you always think back, okay, I would have rather set up a group to make that, and then all I have to think about when I actually add that user is, yeah, let them have access to this group and this group and this group and go. You don't have to worry about it.
You've had RT over 2 versions though?
Huh?
You've had RT over 2 versions?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I've been running RT3 only. And 3's been out for several years. But I went looking in the backlog for greater understanding. I know that's weird, but yeah, that's me. To look back, because you can learn a lot about something by looking at, you know, where it came from. And one of the things when I was looking into doing RT, because there were several options. There's wikis now that you can use as your help desk setup if you want. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is. And before I picked RT, I was looking around to see, you know, okay, where did it come from? You know, what kind of things are these guys doing that's consistently been this way? Okay, this is way out of sequence here. I put this back earlier. Is anybody confused about what a queue is at all? A queue is just where tickets live, essentially. The nice thing about the queue is that you can assign rights to a particular queue. It's a target object, if you will, for groups and stuff like that. You can actually put, you know, assign groups underneath queues to get permissions specific to that queue, so that you don't have to go, okay, global rights for everything except right here. You do it the other way. You say, okay, you know, global rights on this one section, and then you go from there. Yeah, and you need to take some time to learn the permission system and what it actually does. You know, go and create a user, have one window over, you know, have like Conqueror open over here, and, you know, Internet Explorer or whatever open over here, and have them both logged into RT as different users. Log in as a super user as one, change a right, flip over to this user whose right you just changed, and see what it affects and what it changes, what goes away, what stays, things like that. That's the best way than trying to just, some of them are obvious, but like watch ticket, what's that? What's the ramifications of that? Well, the ramifications of that aren't great until you do something like set up a queue to send an email every time something happens. Because it'll usually say, send a ticket to, or send an email to the watchers when something happens to this ticket. So if you don't want that person to be a watcher, because they're gonna get, like my boss, he doesn't watch anything as part of a group, because if he was part of a group, that means he would get paged. He watches as his user on the help desk queue so that he knows when tickets come in and stuff like that. And 90% of the time he just deletes them, but that way he kind of knows what's going on. If something, you know, catastrophic is happening, he can step in and go, you need to fix this. And I'll go, no. And then he'll go, no, you need to fix this. And oh. Okay, RT scripts.
Let me know when a good time to break is. Need to change a tape.
Well, okay, that's fine. I don't care. Or you can just leave it off.